Welcome to the Football Historian Podcast.
By all means, enjoy it.
He will go right to the very top.
Dos, tres, cuatro times.
Here we go, Germans.
I will turn these results round.
All right, that's good manners.
There's animosity, but there's no fight.
If you can't beat them, join them.
You make me feel sick if I look at you.
No, I want to fight here.
Don't drink, don't sleep with women, don't drive fast cars.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit too!
Hello and welcome to the Football Historian Podcast. I'm delighted to be joined by Steve McNulty. I want to start by freaking you out in how much I love you. I just want to tell you first. So, me and all my mates, I'm a Liverpool fan, went to uni, so like Arsenal fan, Preston fan, United fan. We all joined over Tranmere. And the first time when we went, we were in the conference, and we saw you walk in and have a pint of Guinness. I think I fell in love straight away. I've had your name on the back of my shirt. You may not be aware of what Red Dead Redemption 2 is, but you can name your horse. My horse was called Steve McNulty. I adored you. So I just want to get a bit out the way, because that me and all my mates are just like made up that you are here. So thank you so much, especially what you just said off camera about not doing this a lot. So thank you so much for coming here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
I won't be stalking you. It's done now. This is it. This is the end of it. I want to start at Liverpool. Were you always a defender when you played, or when you came there?
Yeah, when I started as a kid, I started as a defender. I'm not a centre forward. That moved to the back. I've always been a defender. So yeah, I was played right back a little bit when I was younger. Played a few games when I was in the centre of excellence at Liverpool, but when I started growing and stuff like that, I moved into centre back. Yeah.
And was it Hugh McCauley who first spotted you? Is that correct? I think you went to train as a 6-year-old. Is that right? Or
yeah, it was. So Hugh McCauley was a coach at Liverpool, and his dad was named Huey as well. He's got a son called Huey as well. But it was his granddad, Old Huey. We called him Old Huey. Who spotted me playing at the NAC, and asked me to go up. Yeah.
And what was he like? Obviously, it's quite a famous name in the Liverpool Academy. Was he a boss coach from the start that you noticed, or what was it like?
Yeah, it was good. They were really, really good. We didn't really have much to do with Huey and Dave Shannon. They looked after, it was the A&B team back then. So they used to have different coaches for different age groups. So I didn't really come into contact with Huey and Dave Shannon until later on in my career.
And then obviously you were a boyhood blue when it all started off. So was it, when you got the call from Liverpool, even though you were 6, was it waiting for Everton to call you, or was it always Liverpool, or how hard was that choice?
No, it was just, my dad's a Red. All the other family are Blues, to be honest with you, but it didn't really cross my mind, to be honest with you. Back then, he didn't used to give you training kits, so I used to go up with my Everton kits and train at Melwood and my Everton kits and stuff like that, but it didn't really cross my mind, and even to this day now, I was brought up a Blue, but we've got no chance of ever winning the league. So when Liverpool were going for the league, I wanted Liverpool to win the league. Obviously on derby days, I want Everton to win, but just doesn't really bother me, to be fair.
So that's what I was going to say. Have you got a bit of the Carragers about you? Have you changed allegiance, or are you Mr. Merseyside, or what is it?
No, I've not really changed allegiance. I'll always be a Blue. Obviously Jamie went on and he played. You can see why he did change colours. I don't think you can play for the club for that long without changing colours. So. But obviously I didn't go on to play like that, so I was brought up a Blue, so I'd get called a traitor if I changed my colours, to be honest with you. But as I say, it doesn't really bother me, football. I watched him in the Champions League and stuff like that, and any time he plays, as long as it's not against Everton, I want him to win. Just get a bit of stick in the house for it, to be honest with you, but yeah.
Alright, to report Liverpool, Everton, Tranmere, which order can we put them in for you?
I'd have to go Everton, Tranmere and Liverpool.
That's fair enough, I think. I just thought I'd try it. Yeah. Obviously, you said there you didn't initially wear the full Liverpool training kit, but as you go on, you're wearing full Liverpool kits. Are you getting grief at family parties and from your mates for doing that switch over, or was it just proud of what you were doing?
No, I think everyone was just proud of what I was doing. Obviously, as you say, back then it was centre of excellence, so I was going up in my own training kit, Everton kits and all kinds of different other football kits, but, the longer you go on, the higher the age groups you go up to, you start getting training kit and stuff like that. But I didn't really get any stick about it, to be honest with you. My brother's a bad bit of Blue, so it was only him that, used to pull faces and stuff like that. But he wouldn't let me mum put the Liverpool kit in with his washing and stuff like that. But no, it was all right. No one really gave me any stick.
Yeah, well, that's good. And then we've had John Welsh on, who played with you. What else? Who others are the big names who you played with at the academy, and who maybe did go on or didn't go on to play for the first team?
I think in our age group, I went right the way through with John Welshie, yeah, really close to him. There was only him out of our age group that went on. Zach Whitbread was in our age group. He went on and played a few times for Liverpool. Year above was Semi, John at Semabor. And then obviously the year above that would have been Mella. But yeah, that was only really that went on and broke through. I think the one before that, I never played with him or come across him, but I think before that would have been the likes of Gerrard. But he was a few years older than me and never played him.
Yeah. And how hard is it to play for Liverpool? Obviously, you were there for such a long time and had a good career in like the lower ranks of Liverpool, shall we say? But how hard is it to make that that top step and to get into the first team?
I never made it, so I don't know. But it's really tough. You look at the players that have come through academies and come through these centre of excellence and gone on like good careers. In the Championship and League One. I think the step is massive. And you just you've got to take your hat off them. Sometimes you just got to look yourself in the mirror and you're just not good enough to make that step. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but I think it's only for the elite. You look at them and like Sakara, like Gerrard, Michael Owen. People like that, they are the elite of it, and you've seen them go through. But yeah, listen, I enjoyed my time there. Learnt a lot. It gave me the foundations to go on and do what I've done in the game.
Yeah, and obviously you played a lot of reserve team football. You captained at younger level. When you were doing that, did you think this first team call up's inevitable, or was it always hard to be captain? Was it responsibility on you, or how easy was it playing reserve football basically?
It was really good back then because it was the Pontons League, so the players that didn't play in their first team on the Saturday or the Sunday, they'd always play in the Pontons League on the Monday, so it was really competitive. So I played against a lot of good players that were playing the Premier League, and I played with a lot of the players at Liverpool that weren't playing in the first team, so it was really good. But I don't know how far away from the call up you was. There was great players ahead of me, world class players. So I had got the feeling one year that I mightn't have been far off, but I went on holiday just 2 or 3 times that year and just went back training. I was massively overweight, just didn't look after myself properly, so that just got squashed right away, to be honest with you.
So do you reckon if it wasn't for that, you would have been in there, or are you saying you would never know? Or?
I don't think you'd ever know. Yeah. I think that year there was young lads playing in the the League Cup and things like that. So I might have got a chance. I may not have got a chance, but we'll never know now. I didn't have the the desire and the willpower to not go out and enjoy myself on that summer.
Yeah, at a 21-year-old you were when you left the club. We've seen what Trent Alexander-Arnold's doing now at the After Academy and the support that youngsters get leaving the club. What support was there for Liverpool when they said, off you go, in the nicest way possible?
None really. We got they have exit trials at I'm sure it was Kiel University, where all the players that have been released from all the clubs around out the Premier League, they all turn up at the university. You're there for 2 days, I think it is, and you just play matches, and they have all the scouts from the different clubs, different leagues come and watch. No real aftercare, to be honest with you. It's just a bit like, see you later, yeah. So
who was it who gave you the news? Like, what, that day, did you know it was happening? Was it everyone was getting new contracts?
Yeah, listen, I knew it was coming because of what had gone on the year before that. So I knew it was always coming. Obviously, let myself down. And listen, you got to look yourself in the mirror. I weren't good enough to go on and play in the Premier League, week in and week out. And I'll always hold my hands up. People might be in denial about that, but was it good enough? Probably not. No.
That's a bit harsh. I've seen you play. I thought you were good, but so just to go back to that. So who was it who says that date here? Did you still remember that meeting? Is it still burnt? Were you just saying you felt like that was coming?
No, I can't remember who actually sat down and had the meeting with. To be honest with you, it probably would have been Steve Iway if he was still there. Ewan McCauley might have been involved in the meeting as well, Dave Shannon. But off the top of my head, I can't remember who had the meeting with.
So then you have these exit trials. What happened from there? Was that like straight after, or do you have a break from football before the exit trials?
No, they're right at the end of the season. So we went down to the exit trials. There was quite a few of us that went down. There's about 6 or 7 of us went down to the exit trials. The exit trials, I got 2 clubs that were interested. One was Bournemouth and one was Norwich. And obviously I was from Bootle and never lived away from home and that, so I didn't even bother following them up, to be honest with you. Yeah.
And what league were they at the time? Do you know?
Bournemouth, I think Bournemouth for League One. Norwich might have been in the Championship.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Obviously, that was just what were you hoping for then from the exit trials? Was it just someone more local? I'm guessing, obviously, but what was the dream move maybe at that stage?
I didn't have one. I'd become a bit disillusioned with football, and that was my own fault because of. I went back that summer. I was unfit. I was overweight, and I trained for about 3 months on my own. Didn't play any games. I was training on my own. Weren't involved with the group, so I become a bit disillusioned with it, to be honest with you. But I got myself back fit, and then got myself back playing. Played a few games for the reserves and that year again. So I just become a bit disillusioned. I didn't really go down there with any hopes and aspirations. I just went down there really to tick a box. I was undecided whether I was going to carry on playing at that point, to be honest with you, because of being out of it for so long. So I didn't go down with any hopes or aspirations. I didn't have any thoughts of what club I wanted to be interested.
Yeah, and then I've got to that you were working delivering furniture in a van. So does your pride take a hit doing that, or were you just like, this is the next step for me? And what was that? How did that come about?
People always go on about this professional football thing. You're a professional footballer, but the thing that's always driven me is money when I've played football. So it's not the achievement. It's not I'm playing for this club, I'm playing for that club. It's money that's always driven me. That's always been in the back of my mind, and that's what gets me up for games. It's what gets me through seasons. So when I left Liverpool, I went to Bury and Blackpool. Had trials with them, Steve McMahon and Mark Seagraves, I think was his assistant manager. And then I went to Bury. Andy Priest was the manager at Bury, but ITV Digital had just gone bust. They were putting all money in and just gone bust. ITV Digital, where all the games were going to be shown, and they were offering me £200 a week. They wanted to sign me. The both clubs were offering me £200 a week. And I'd been at Liverpool, I'd been professional there for 3 years, and the money was a big drop. So it was a bit like, can't really afford to live on that. So you travel. I had to travel up there as well. So in the end, I just decided to stop playing. And then got a phone call one day off a friend who had a furniture shop, said, need a driver, do you want to come and drive? So just got me out the house, yeah.
And then are you playing five-a-side with your mates? Are you playing on the weekend, or just stop altogether?
No, just stopped altogether. And then obviously a good friend of mine, Owen Brown, he's looked after me throughout my career, still speak to him to this day. He rang me up, Mike Marsh and Ian Bishop, a manager at Barrow, and said to me, do you fancy going up and playing? I told him no, to be honest with you. I didn't even have a pair of boots. And he said, if I get you a pair of boots, will you go up and play? So, as a favour. So, he got me some boots and I went up and started playing. Started enjoying it again. I got back in the dressing room. Marshy was great, Bish was great as well. There was a good bunch of lads there. So, I think when you get back in the dressing room, feel of things, and it's probably bad to say, but not as professional. It was more enjoyment about it. Went in there, started enjoying it again, and just obviously went through the levels from there.
So, what was the gap between like that exit trial and starting and playing again? How long were you out of football for together, do you reckon?
I reckon at least 12 months, between 12 and 18 months, yeah.
Could you tell when you played that first game that you hadn't played in 18 months? Or?
Well, I was blowing out my hoop, I'll be honest with you, yeah. I can't remember, we played someone away. It was roasting hot day as well. And the pitch was rock hard, yeah. I forget the name of the team we played, but yeah, you could tell, yeah, I hadn't played or done nothing for months and months, yeah.
So obviously you said there was Mike Marsh and Besko, where you got like the redemption story maybe. But so were your mates not giving you grief when you go in the pub after work, or you're driving the van and then let's sit next to you going like, what are you doing? Why aren't you playing footy? Or was everyone just
no?
Let you do it? Everyone
was all right, to be honest with you. You'd love being professional. You had so much money left in the bank, so you was around doing whatever you wanted to do. But then obviously that money started drying up, so I had to do something. I ended up getting a job on the van, playing part time, getting paid at Bearscough. I think I was getting £150 a game or something like that. So yeah, no one really said nothing. I think they knew what I'd been through, and I'd stopped enjoying it. I'd had conversations with my dad and people like that, So, he's been right the way throughout the journey with my dad. So, I think it would have hurt him a lot more than it hurt me, because he'd see me go through, the highs and lows and stuff like that. And I think all he ever wanted was the best for me, to go on and be a footballer. So, but yeah, listen, at that time, I'd had enough of playing football. I'd had enough of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got Mike Marsh. Obviously, he's still in the game today. What was he like? Was he a really good coach at that level? Did you realise how good he was, or was it just nice to have a maybe more familiar face, or how important was he for you playing again?
Yeah, he's really good. He just, obviously, I'd seen him as a player and stuff like that. But you know, when it's part-time football, you know, we were in the uni bond and stuff like that. There's not much coaching. There's not much coaching going on. You know, everyone's working of a day. You turn up of a night, you're probably training for an hour and a half. So there weren't really much coaching going on. It was just more getting the lads together, getting ready for the Saturday, you know, doing set pieces and stuff like that. So there weren't really much coaching going on. But, you know, he's really good. He's still in the game now. But yeah, you know, he's a really good, great fella.
And then from there with Vauxhall Motors, so obviously he's still staying local. Still, it's not full time there, but is it? He's still working on Vauxhall Motors. So, you know, to change clubs between there to Bersco, obviously give you the big chance. Was that like a big decision to leave there, and maybe you're feeling you're taking it more seriously, or?
No, Martin Bish, they got sacked. Martin Bish got sacked or left. So, and then I was talking before about Owen Brown. He had the manager's job at Vauxhall Motors. So he rang me. He obviously got me to go to Bersco. So I ended up going across and signing for Vauxhall with Owen Brown. Yeah, just same again there, part time. Really good bunch of lads, and you know, really enjoyed it.
And then Barrow is your return to the big time. I've got it written down here. Did it feel like, right, I'm taking footy seriously again now, or was it just, you know, as you said, the money was better and it was the right decision for you financially? Or
I think at the time it was just more, you know, Owen had left Vauxhall, so Barrow would come in. They'd offer me a lot more money than what I was on at Vauxhall. You know, I was still working when I was at Barrow as well. But I just thought, you know, let's make the jump. Let's get out your comfort zone a little bit. So, you know, I went there. I was never going thinking, you know, this is it. And, you know, a bit of redemption and stuff like that. I just went there. I was enjoying football again. And I was probably just chasing the money a little bit back then. But obviously I went there, started enjoying it, and we had a little bit of success, you know, and I had a really good couple of seasons there.
Well, that's it. We're going to talk more about Barrow and then the rest of your career. We're going to have a quick break and then we'll carry on from there. So we'll see you in a second.
Hi, I'm Warren, the producer for the Football Historian podcast, and we're here today to talk to you about the Patreon subscription.
Yes, so for just £1 a month for the first 100 people, there's a lot of benefits that you get, and I think £1 is a terrific deal.
Pittance,
yes, £1 only, and you get early access, which means at least 24 hours before everyone else gets the episode, you get to watch it. There's also an extra section, we call it the Football Historian Podcast Extra Time, and we ask all the questions to the guests that no one else gets to see unless you're a patron. And on top of that, you're the ones who get to ask the questions. You send them in, we tell you which guest is going to be coming and sitting in this chair, you ask them, we record it, you get to watch it, no one else does. On top of that, we do a monthly special. We did one last night. It was a quiz, you were there.
Yeah, bedlam and great content.
Yeah, so hopefully you can watch that. As I said, we've got a round on Linvoy Primus or Lionel Messi. We've done mastermind stuff, all that. That's going to happen every month. The bigger this grows, we're going to do it even more regularly. Hopefully it'll be once a week. But we need your support. So to do that, £1 a month for the first 100 people. Your early support will be rewarded. From then on, it's £3 a month if you want to support us. If you want to pay £5 a month, you get all that we've just mentioned, but you get a poster. Warren will sign it, I'll sign it, all the lads. We'll get a few of the guests to do it as well. We'll send that out to you. And then for £10 a month, you get all that, the poster, all the early access, and you get a free copy of any of my books. So I've done one on Billy Liddell, Crossing the Park, Tommy Lawrence. They're all worth at least £20. For just £10, you get a copy of the book, all the stuff we've already mentioned. We'd really appreciate your support. We cannot do this without you.
This really is a passion project, and anything people can put into it goes straight back into it. We don't take a wage. We're doing this for free. We're doing this because we enjoy what we do.
That's it. It all makes the content better. And I say from just £1 a month, you can make our dreams come true. Thanks for the support. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Welcome back to section 2. Thank you for not running away in the break. We talked about Barrow there. Obviously, you got promotion. You were named Conference North Player of the Year. Did you think, obviously, you've come from Bersco, you made the jump, you're jumping up there. Do you think you were too good for that level? Was it too easy for you, or how was it?
Don't like blowing me on trumpet, but I probably knew I was too good for that level, yeah. But I was enjoying my football. There was a few whispers about clubs coming and watching, clubs making offers and stuff like that, which I weren't privy to any conversations and stuff like that. I didn't get involved with that. I just was going there playing my football. I've always believed in my own ability, so I did think I was too good for the level, yeah. I thought, you know, it did become too easy at times, but, you know, I was enjoying my football. As I say, the dressing room was really good. Playing with a good mate of mine, Paul Jones, was centre half. He's greater than me, Jonah, to be honest with you. But yeah, we just enjoying the football, and you know, we're having a bit of success as well.
Yeah, and then is it your first move with Mickey Mellon that came after? Is that right? At Fleetwood, was he manager then when you went straight away? Yeah,
He was. Yeah, I think we got promoted the first year with Bearscough, and then I played a season in the conference with Barrow, and then that year there was a few whispers that there was clubs interested, and they'd sort of backdoor me a little bit on a few things. So I wanted to leave. So Dave Bayless was the manager, and then Darren Sheridan told him I wanted to leave, and then I think Mickey Mellon come in from Fleetwood. I think they ended up paying about 17 grand or something to get me out my contract. Yeah.
And as you said, there are other teams. Who else was interested? Were you close to going somewhere else, or?
No, it's just whispers in the background. I had clubs coming and watching. I don't think anything was ever concrete, but I think Barrow had it in the back of their mind that they were never going to sell me anyway. I was under contract for the next 2 years. So yeah, there was whispers of Carlisle, a few other clubs and things like that, but never come to fruition.
And Mickey Mellon, obviously you go on to play with him at Tranmere. Was he good for your career? Did you like playing under him, or?
Not at the start. No, he signed me from Barrow for Fleetwood, and I've obviously, he's not known what I'm about and who I am. He's obviously signed me. I've turned up at training, pre-season stuff. I'm always at the back of the runs and that. And I don't think I played for the first 3 or 4 games. The season didn't start great for us that year in the Conference North again. And then he phoned me one weekend. It was bank holiday weekend. You play Saturday, Monday. Played on the Saturday and got beat. I was on the bed. I didn't play for the first 3 or 4 games on the bench. And he said, "You're playing Monday. Like, don't be going out on the ale." So,
did you?
I didn't, to be honest with you. I probably went out Saturday after the game. No, not on the Sunday. But yeah, played on the Monday and that was it. Stayed in the team then, yeah.
And obviously, Fleetwood, a lot of, I think, good things happened there for you. But the first season, you miss out on promotion. What was that like to not make the step up? Did you think that was going to happen, or was that deserved?
No, I think we did get promoted.
So I've got first season, missed out promotion, promoted the next year. If that's wrong, I apologise.
No, I think the first year we were promoted off the Conference North.
Okay, sorry.
And then we went up to the conference. We got beat by AFC Wimbledon in the conference playoffs then, and then we won the conference the year after. We beat Wrexham to the conference, yeah.
Right, okay. Apologies.
Yeah. No, you're right, yeah.
Fleetwood, there was some good players there. I want to quote what you said about one teammate. I'm sure you'll be able to guess who it was, but he could get the ball inside our own half, go past 3 or 4 players, get a goal out of nowhere. He had that little bit of magic. Do you know who you said that about?
Vardy.
Yes, and I'm sure you expected that. I'm going to ask you about him, but you see him now. He's just scored again in the Premier League. How good was he at that level? Did you know he was going to be that good?
I think if someone had told me then he was going to go on and play for England, I'd have called you a liar. You know, you could see at that level he was really good. He had something special. He just turned up, didn't care about nothing, just went out on the football pitch and played football. He's probably the quickest thing I've ever seen in football. But yeah, he had a little bit of magic. It was like he was playing on the streets with his mates. He went out, didn't care about no one, didn't care about who he was playing against, had no respect for anyone. And yeah, he was special, but I think if you'd asked him at that time as well, do you think you're going to go on and play for England? I think he'd have said no himself, but you know, it's just amazing what can happen and, you know, what did happen really. But, you know, it's mad when we're at Fleetwood, everyone talks to you about Vardy and things like that, but we had a great team. Like, there was other players in that team that were really special players. You had Mangs on the wing. We had a lad called Lee Fowler who played midfield as well. The whole team were, you know, we had a really good side. You know, I think we beat Wrexham. I think that was the first year. We had 103 points and Wrexham had 101 when we beat them to the conference. They had a really good side as well. Dean Saunders was the manager. But yeah, we had a really good side. But we were a good team, and then he come in and took us on to the next level. You know, you could, as you say, in tight games, he'd be the difference. You know, he'd get the ball now and half and go on amazing and score a goal out or nothing.
And was it still cans of Red Bull and port? Was that all part of his diet then, or was it worse? Or?
No, do you know what? I never seen him drink port. There was room, like he lived in a house. They had a house where all the people from out of town used to stay in a house. So there was rumours he used to go and have a pint on a Friday before the game and stuff like that. But he used to drink cans of Monster, Red Bull and Pro Plus he used to take before the game, yeah.
You never think to copy that pre-match?
No. I was all right. I'd end up on the toilet with as much Monster as him.
And obviously you talked about John Parkin before. Obviously there's some characters that you play with. What was he like as well?
Funny, hilarious. He just come in and we got promoted to League Two, and then obviously we'd never had any big name sign. Obviously Vardy was there, but Vardy weren't a big name. We signed him out of non-league. So when we went up into the league, we started getting, big name players. Parky had, played in the Championship and played for massive clubs and that. But he come and he was hilarious. He used to have a lad called Andy Mangan shaving his back and all stuff like that. You want to come and have a walk around my closet and stuff like that. He was hilarious. Went on pre-season, saw on the White Rapids and stuff like that. I pushed him in and his foot got caught. I nearly killed him, to be honest with you. We were walking down this walkway to get on these. We were doing like whitewater rapids, and the rapids were coming from one way and we were standing the other side, and I've pushed him in against the rapids and he's gone like under this wooden jetty and his foot got caught underneath the jetty and his head's like under the water. His head's under the water. I thought it killed him, and the instructor had to jump in and loosen his foot to let him out. Yeah, but he was funny, Parky, great lad. We used to have some laughs with him.
And you were like quite often the captain of the teams you were in, and obviously you're captain of Fleetwood as well. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So how is it leading the dressing room with like characters like Vardy, Parkinson? What is, how hard is that for you, or do you relish in having those big personalities?
No, it's quite easy. With back then it was everyone looked after themselves. You didn't have to go around doing that. And I think I've always said this about Mickey Mellon. He always takes players that no other club would really touch because they're a bit loose. People say they're loose cannons. Like, you wouldn't sign him. He's bad news. He's hard work and stuff like that. But the dressing room at Fleetwood was just full of them. Everywhere you looked, it was just full of loose cannons, and that's what made the team. That's why we were so good, because we used to go out, didn't respect anyone. When we had to play, we played. People wanted to, start kicking us and stuff. We could kick them back, but the dressing room was just full of cannons, full of characters. And I think that's what's gone off the game now as well. There's no real characters, in the leagues now and in the game. I think they're trying to kill them out the game.
Yeah. Well, for yourself personally as well, you're going into full-time football again for the first time. So you spoke there about like how your dad just wants you to be happy, how you've come from working in a van. Did it feel that moment when you're no longer doing your furniture delivery and you're a full-time footballer again? Was it a proud moment, or was it was what it was?
I nearly didn't go full-time because of the money. Because when we were there, when we were in the Conference North, they had a chairman, Pilly, and he was paying like ridiculous money, too much money for the Conference North. There was people on ridiculous wages, and they didn't really offer me much of a pay rise to go full time, because I was earning so much money to go up into the conference when we were going full time. So I nearly didn't take the contract, to be honest with you. I was haggling with them for weeks and weeks, and I nearly didn't take the contract. Nearly signed a contract, and in the end, I just thought to myself, I'll give it one last go and see what it's like. And I obviously lost my money for my job, and as I said before, money was always the driving force for me. It was like, money. So yeah, I just ended up taking the plunge and become a full-time footballer again.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like obviously that's a lot of young people's dreams. I'm sure obviously when you're leaving Liverpool, for you, how low you were feeling, it's like a big personal battle for you to have got yourself back in that position. So I think that deserves applause, and then obviously financially helped you out as well. Graham Alexander, did he take over? And what was the first thing he said to you when he took the job?
I don't know. We done it in a bit of a shithousery way, to be honest with you. It was mad because we played Aldershot in the FA Cup, and Aldershot were in the conference. We were in League Two, and then we played them and they beat us. And I went back to the local pub with my dad, and we were having a pint, and it come up on the screen, Mickey Mellon's being sacked in the yellow at the bottom. So we went in on the Monday. Graham Alexander trained, didn't say nothing to me. I was in my car on the way home, and he gets his assistant manager, Chris Lucchetti, to ring me. Can you come back? Graham wants to have a word with you. I just said that you'll never play for the club again. Like, you've got too much pull in the dressing room. All the lads listen to you and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the first thing he said to me. He didn't pull me in before training and ask about the lads and stuff like that. Obviously that's football. He had his own way he wanted to do it. But yeah, the way he went about it was a bit, a bit poor, I thought.
So he knew you had the pull, but never tried to make that pull to help him, because would you have? Surely you'd have wanted him to do well, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. I'm not I'm not the type of person that would go in and ruin a dressing room for people and that. You know, I'm there under contract. I'm playing for Fleetwood. I'm a Fleetwood player. They pay me wages. I'm under contract. I'm wearing the shirt. So I'm there to do a job, and I do a job to the best of my ability, no matter who's standing in the dugout, no matter what colour shirt I've got on, what badge I've got on. So it baffled me a little bit. Yeah, he didn't really, you know, give it a chance and say to me, do you want to work with me? You know, you can be the influence between, you know them all. But he just never give it a chance. He just chopped me head off from the get-go, to be honest with you.
Nice. Did you ever speak to him again after that, or was that was it in out, or?
No, not really. He wanted me out the way, to be honest with you. So it was the same again. That's why I say it's a bit shit-arsey, because he'd never look me in the eye and have conversations with me. He'd always be through Chris Lucetti, or you'd be in your car on the way home, not far off the motorway. You know, can you come back? I want to speak to you. Well, I've been there for the past 3 or 4 hours. Like, pull me when I'm there. So I used to say, I'll speak to you in the morning. So I didn't like the way he went about it. He didn't show me any respect. Not that I've done anything in the game that he's done, but it's just about, you know, showing someone a bit of respect. And, you know, I just thought he went about it the wrong way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, that meant that your move to Luton became what happened in your future. So you said before you turned down Bournemouth and Norwich. Luton, obviously, maybe not as far away, but it's not close to Bootle. So I know obviously you've already travelled a bit there, but was that a hard decision, or was that something you had to do to play football, or why did you go to Luton?
I just knew it was a massive club. I'd spoke to Gary Brabham about it. You know, he'd managed them. So I'd had a conversation with him about it, and it was just another club, massive club. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure I had really many options. I had Mansfield. I'd spoke to a few other clubs, but none that I really fancied. And I just thought at the time, you know, home life at the time weren't really great as well, with the ex-missus. So I think at the time I just thought, you know, it'll do me good, get me out of Bootle, get me away from things and stuff like that. So yeah, I just took the plunge and went down there.
And was it you on your own? Did you move? Were you living alone in Luton? Or?
Yeah, well, I went on loan at first, so I was living in a hotel on my own. About 2 minutes from the training ground, I could walk to the training ground. So I used to go in every morning, train, back to the hotel. But I had a child at the time, Ava. She went old, so I used to drive back on a Tuesday after training, and then drive back Wednesday night or early Thursday morning for training, and have a weekend as well after the game. Yeah. And
then you hit it off with the fans. Nickname Sumo. What was it like being called Sumo? Were you happy to take on that name, or was that maybe a bit offensive? Or
no, I was all right with that. Actually, being called worse than that, let me tell you. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really take any notice to it, to be honest with you. They nicknamed me that. But yeah, I had a great rapport with the fans down there. They took to me really well. I think at every club I've been to, even, you know, I went to Luton, I went to Tranmere. You know, I didn't really hit the ground running at both clubs, and they were massive clubs. And I think at the time, the fans probably were looking at me thinking, what have we signed here? Like, but you know, I went on to have, you know, a little bit of success at both clubs.
Well, at the end of the day, it's about your body image, which is why they're saying it. And you know, you kind of laughed at as a footballer sometimes, and like, how's he playing football? And then I was just thinking, the similar to Akinfenwa in some ways, and I saw that you played against him, and you watch him and you thought, oh, he's too big to play football, but he still bosses a game. Remember watching yourself play and you win every single header. So is it something that you think maybe people were like laughing at you, putting you down, and you had to like overcome a hurdle every time because of the way you looked, or was it not something that came into your mind too much, or what were your thoughts on it?
No, it didn't really bother me, to be honest with you, but I think that's what's held me back in my career. I think, I said it before, I've always believed in my own ability, and I should have played higher, and I know I could have played higher, but I think if you're a manager, you come down to the match, I put a football shirt on and look like a big fat bastard, like, you know what I mean? But that is just me. So if you are coming down and watch me, you know, you're not going to look twice, really, are you? I think that's what has held me back throughout my career. That's why I haven't played higher. But that's something you've got to get on with. You know, I took stick off all the fans, but listen, it's just water off a duck's back. You know, some people would have went under and folded, but I'm not that type of character. It didn't really bother me. Used to have a laugh with them about it. As I said before, there's not much you haven't been called.
Well, and then again, the second February again, he beast mode and all stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you never think of sumo mode? Could you have gone into all this and made yourself more of a TikToker or Instagram?
No, I mean, you've got to take your hat off to him. He worked with it and he's made a brand out of it, and he's made a lot of money out of it. To be honest with you, so you've got to take your hat off to him. He took it the other way, but I'm not sure with the sold too many sumo suits. Like,
well, you never know. Obviously, I want to talk to you about at Luton as well. That you were vice captain, player of the year. You returned to the Football League again. You say you were maybe too good for that level. Did you feel like that again there when you're coming into League Two, and you're having such a pivotal role in that club? You've already said a massive. Did you feel again there like I should be playing higher up, or was it just nice to be recognised and be part of a team?
I think at that time in my career, yeah, I thought, well, I knew I could have played higher up, but it was the same again. I was enjoying my football down there. That was the first time I was ever at a big club. Luton were a really big club. No disrespect to Fleetwood. They've come through non-league. They didn't have, loads of supporters. They've got no real history, but it was the first time I went to a club and felt part of a club that was, massive, had a lot of history behind it, and one that you thought, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to want to go on a journey with them, because you knew it was only a matter of time before they did start climbing up the leagues again, and that's what they done. Yeah,
of course. And then I want to talk about your wonder goal against Southport. Obviously it gets replayed a lot on YouTube and stuff like that. It's the first thing I think that comes up when you search your name. Have you done that in trading a million times, or was that a one-off?
Nah, it was one-off. That come off my shin pad. I think the good thing about it is I'd played with a lad called Danny Hurst at Fleetwood, who's the goalie at Fleetwood, and he was in goal for Southport that night, so it made it a little bit sweeter. But it's just a one-off that you could hit 100 of them and they go over the stand. I was just lucky enough it come off my shin pad that day.
So you've never scored one better in trade, and you were just lucky that was on the
yeah.
On the pitch. Right, perfect. And then it says here that you would have stayed at Luton, but it was off-pitch matters that made you leave the club. After you see that, you said how big the club was playing Premier League football last year. Were you maybe a bit resentful that you weren't more part of the rise, or how did you leave the club and what happened?
No, listen, I left on good terms. There's a manager coming. I sort of had the same thing again when I was at Luton. Paul Buckle signed me, and then he had a missus, and she just got a massive job for ESPN over in America. So he left and went over there with her. And then I was sort of in the same situation again. Well, Paul Buckle signed me. I don't know who's getting a job, whether they want me to stay. And then John Still come in. He said he knew who I was. He'd had me watched before. So I had great rapport with Still. He was a proper family man. I had some great success down there with them. And no, I didn't leave it any hard feelings. I left on really good terms. I'd had another kid at the time called Lilia. She went too well. The travelling was doing me in a little bit. I weren't seeing the kids as much. So, she was in and out of hospital a little bit. So it was just, I needed to be around a bit closer to home. And I went in and explained all this to Stilly. And it was done within a couple of hours, to be fair. But there was talk about me coming home after we'd been promoted up into the league. Owen Brown had rang me, and Gary Brabham had rang me. He was the manager at the time. Want me to come home and sign for Tranmere. But at the time I was down there, I was enjoying it. I got to a point where I was thinking, I got on that well with Gary Sweet, the CEO and stuff. They were like, see your career out here and we'll give you the job, stay down here and stuff like that. So that's what I was thinking. I was just enjoying my football. But obviously I had to get back home for family reasons.
Yeah, and then say that you watched them Premier League last year. Do you think if you just stayed there, you could have been part of the rise, maybe further? Or
no, I think what happens is clubs like that, you end up hitting your ceiling with them. And now what level that is, what would have been for me, I don't know. I've got 2 clubs into League One and never played in League One, so yeah, I would like to give it a go. Tranmere, but yeah, you never know. I think clubs like that, you'll end up hitting the ceiling with them, and then obviously they're going to have to sign better players, because they've all got these ambitions, and I'm not sure if Luton's ambition was to get to the Premier League as quick as they did. They always had them ambitions to get back there, but it's a great story. I went back last season when he played Everton. I went back down. It's the first time I've been back since I left, but it was a really good day.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we'll do life after Luton after another quick break, and then we'll talk about the rest of your career. So we'll see you in a sec. Are you looking for a Kazakhstani football team to support? Then I think FC Kemay is a team you should support. Do you agree?
Growing up as a child, I always had FC Kemay posters on my bedroom wall.
Well, and all the children of the Kazakhstani future will have FC Keme posters on their wall, because FC Keme is the team to support, and because of that, Tom has made us a chant that we're all going to follow. So,
up the Keme, up the Keme,
up the Keme. Make sure you follow them on all the social medias. All the posts and all the things you should follow will appear below us and right here. You should be a supporter of FC Keme.
Live, laugh, Keme.
Welcome back to part today. Obviously, life after Luton we're going to talk about now. So you said it was for family reasons, the main thing you came back. Tranmere, you've said there was previous interest. Obviously, with the Liverpool and Everton being Premier League clubs and you wanting to stay local, surely Tranmere is the dream team you could have played for. Is that how you felt then, or was it just, it was what it was again?
No, it was a no-brainer to be fit. Mickey Mellon was at Shrewsbury, and he tried to get me to sign for Shrewsbury in that summer as well. I spoke to Brabs. But yeah, when I got back home and they were interested, as I say, I went in and spoke to Stilly, I spoke to Brabs and spoke to Owen Brown, who'd done the deal back to Tranmere. So yeah, it was a no-brainer. I've said it before, you know, you're not good enough to play for, and this is no disrespect to Tranmere, you know, it was just, I was fortunate that they were where they were in the football pyramid at the time. You was never good enough to play for, you know, Everton or Liverpool, so your next best thing is being from Merseyside to play for Tranmere, and I was just lucky enough where they were in the football pyramid at the time, and I got that chance to play for them.
And as you did with all the other clubs, you seem to be the catalyst for things getting better again. Obviously, it's a team effort. I'm sure you put it on everyone else, but you've made a big difference with all the clubs you went to. Did you feel like things at Tranmere were looking good as soon as you stepped through the door, or was it a hard battle to get the club back to where it wanted to be?
No, I always say it, and I always compare them to Tranmere and Luton. You know, they're both massive clubs, and the expectations from the fans are always the same. You know, they want to be promoted. They don't think that they should be down there at playing at them levels, but they are where they are for a reason. You know, some of it is not what was happening on the pitch. It's being financial reasons and stuff like that, but they just think with Tranmere Rovers or with Luton Town, you know, we shouldn't be in the conference. All we need to do is turn up every week and we'll win a game. But you know, it's people are coming to the likes of Kenilworth Road and Prenton Park. You know, it's their cup finals. You know, they look around, you know, in the league grounds, and they always get that extra 10%. So I think when I first went to Luton, it was the same. The team weren't good enough, didn't have the characters or the mindset, you know, for right, we've got to just do a job here and get on with it. And it was the same when I went to Tranmere. You know, there was players there that didn't have the right mindset, didn't have the ability to kick them on. So yeah, we went there, and you know, obviously it was unfortunate for Brabs that, you know, it weren't happening for him. You know, some of the players there let him down. But yeah, and then obviously Mickey come in and things changed around. He changed the mindset, and it's mad because you look at the playoff final. It was probably most of Brabs' team that played in the playoff final. Mickey didn't really sign many of the players. It was mostly Brabs' players that he brought to the club, and you know, it's just unfortunate that results weren't too good when I first signed here. You know, I was part of that as well myself. Didn't hit the ground running. But yeah, obviously Mickey come in, change of face, and things started, you know, going in the right direction.
Well, obviously you miss out in the playoff final. That's obviously the worst game probably to lose in football. And then obviously you're back in the same division, you're back in non-league. That's when personally I started watching Tranmere. It seemed to be dead. The feeling from the fans was when it hit so many supporters in the stadium and the game got too big. That's when Tranmere fell away. Did you think that yourself? You just couldn't get over the line. Obviously, you know what happened the next year, but did it feel like it was always just one step too far at that point?
No, I didn't always feel one step too far. It's just something. I think them both. You know, I went there at the start of the first season when I went there, but the second season, Mickey's first full season there, my first full season there as well. I think he'd brought in a few new faces in and stuff like that. We'd signed a few, but we didn't always start great. We started the season really slow. I don't think we won in the first 8 or 10 games. You know, we had a lot of draws in there, and we let the teams. I think it was Lincoln that year won the league, or was it Mansfield? It was either Lincoln or Mansfield. We give them too much of a head start, and you know we were never gonna catch them. So we always knew that we were gonna have to go through the playoffs, and we'd obviously had the heartache of the year before. So yeah, we never ever started the season great and just give ourselves a mountain to climb.
And did you say that the changes there Mickey Mellon made? Obviously, you've already said before he was a good manager for you. He obviously could deal with, not saying you had a big personality, but you see what Graham Alexander did. He brought in the likes of Norwood, Cook, Manny Munt, Jennings, a team that obviously, again, I saw playing. It used to be quite direct. Maybe we could say that was always off Cook's head and then let Norwood do the running. Is that how it felt? Was that part of your game plan, or how did you get promoted? What kind of football were you playing?
No, not really. I don't know if it looked like that. It didn't feel like that when I was playing it. You know, in the training we used to, you know, we didn't none of this tippy tappy football. It was like, let's play through the lines. If you need to take a chance to pass forward, let's do it. Obviously we had Cookie up front. You know, he was great in the air, so he used to knock them down for Norwood, and Norwood used to score. But you know, the first season when we didn't get promoted, Norwood should have scored about 60 goals, and the chances he was missing. It was just that second season when we did get promoted through the playoffs, you know, everything he was hitting was going in, and I think he ended up with about 35 goals, him and Cook as well. But yeah, he put that team together, you know. I think it was Brabs that signed Norwood, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think Norwood was there when I first went there. But yeah.
He just obviously hit his form under Mellon, so obviously he's doing something right there for him. Obviously you get promoted again. It's the playoff final. What was that like to win at Wembley?
Better than the year before, let me tell you. I think we had that heartache of the year before. You know, we still majority of the squad was still together, was still there. We felt what we felt the year before. I think the year before we just went in there overconfident. We just didn't think we were going to lose. Overconfidence just never crossed any of our minds. We just thought we were going to turn up and we're going to win. And listen, the best team won on the day. But obviously the following year, we turned up, we had the experience the year before, and we were going around saying each other, we don't want to feel how we felt coming home on the bus the year before that. So, you know, we managed to get there and, get the job done.
And then 12 months later, you're doing similar again. Obviously, another promotion. Was it that you got into League One, as you said there? Was that a surprise that you did so well in League Two at the first time of asking with Tranmere, or because of the size of the club, did you think that was always the aim to keep going?
Football's football, isn't it? I think you go into the league, you've just been promoted, you go in with the momentum, don't you? You know, we had, a really good group of lads, really good side as well with some really good players. So momentum took us up. We just went in there and we didn't care who we played and that. I think we got into the playoffs and ended up winning the playoffs again. But I think it's the momentum you go in with. We went into with good momentum the year before to the playoffs, and that just carried on and went up. And I think looking at a club, I don't think the club expected us to get promoted that year either. I don't think they were ready for the jump into League One. I don't think they had the finances sorted where they had investors to come in, and I think that's why when we did go up to League One. That it was COVID season and stuff, but I think that's why they did struggle, because they didn't have the investment behind them. I think they'd have probably been better staying down that year and getting the investment sorted, getting some more money into the club, and then going up. Because when you go up to League One, it's a totally different story. Then there's massive clubs in there paying really really big wages and stuff, and it was really hard for Tranmere to compete.
Yeah, well, obviously you leave Tranmere. Was that a shock then that you were to say goodbye? Obviously you were a really important part of the team. Was leaving hard, or? No,
it's football. I think I never get. I had a few conversations with Mickey. A lot had happened that season. I didn't really play much from the November, December up until the playoff final, and come on in the playoff final. I didn't play many games. I haven't probably played for about 3 or 4 months, but we spoke about a few things throughout the season. I was out the team, about going over to the coaching staff and doing things like that. I knew my career was, twiddling on the end of coming to the end. I'd never been sentimental about stuff like that. It comes to us all. It's never really bothered me, but few things got promised me that didn't come to fruition, to be honest with you. And that's why I was more upset about the things. It weren't the leaving the club, it was what they promised me they were going to do for me. I'd had success with them. I've been a good servant for them, and they just sort of chopped my head off. And that's why I fell out with Mickey, to be honest with you. I speak to him now, I do some work with Mickey now, chairman as well. Things were promised me that didn't come to fruition, so that's what I was more upset about.
Yeah, which is not what you deserved, when maybe you say that or not. I think.
Listen, people say to me, you deserve this, deserve that. if they weren't in a financial position to do it, that's fair enough. They should have come and told me that. It was just sort of, we can't do this, we can't do that, what we've promised you. The club don't owe me nothing, I owe them it. You know, I had the privilege and the honour to go and play for Tranmere. It weren't they owed me something, they didn't owe me nothing at all. I was there to do a job, and, you know, I played with a lot of great players, we had a great side, and, you know, lucky enough, we did get them promoted. You know, Mickey says it to me as well, you know, they don't owe me nothing. You know, it was my honour and privilege to, you know, play for these clubs.
Fair enough. That's a good way to look at it. After that was York. Shocked that you get in the playoffs again. Did you think your run was gonna keep
carry
going?
on?
Yeah.
It's funny because you signed for them and you're walking through, and I was like, oh, it was the same again. York were, you know, a big club, probably not as big as Tranmere and Luton, but, you know, they were a big club down at that level, and it's a bit like, oh, we've signed McNulty now, we're going to get promoted back to the conference and stuff like that. And it's never as easy that, you know. I was coming to the end of my career then, you know, I was no spring chicken, like, so just massive expectations, you know. It was same again, the crowds were on them all the time, probably didn't have the right mindset of players there, and, you know, the crowd started getting on us and stuff like that, and some of them would go missing, so, but listen, I think if COVID hadn't hit, I think we would have went on and won the league. I think Kings Lynn beat us to the league, but I think if COVID didn't hit, I think we would have went on and won the league, to be honest with you, and points per game thing, we ended up in the playoffs, and Alty beat us in the playoffs, yeah.
But obviously, I want to say there about your playoff run. Are you going to say that it was all just the teams that you were in, or are you going to take some credit for being the playoff promotion king or not?
No, it's just the teams I was in. You know, I was playing with some really good players, and I hate when people go, oh yeah, this, but, you know, I've played under some great managers and I've put some really good sides together, you know. Captain most of them, yeah, I did, yeah, but, you know, you was playing with really, really good players, and I was lucky enough to play in some really good sides with really good players.
That's a nice way to say. See what you say off camera. Then Chester comes after that, your first coaching role, and then obviously you were your first coach role, and then you were manager at Bootle as well. So obviously you say there was promises made to you at Tranmere. Did you always know you wanted to go into the coaching? Is that why you went to Chester and to Bootle? Or
yeah, it's something I always wanted to do. And to be fair, I was at York with Steve Watson, and then travelling was getting a little bit too much for me, and we had probably 4 or 5 older lads there. I was the oldest. He just phoned me and said, listen, they want to go in a different direction, but if you ever get another job closer to home, because York was, I couldn't do, he wanted me to go on the coaching staff there, and it was just, couldn't travel York every day. So he said, if I get a job closer to home, I'll give you a ring. And he got the Chester job, and he rang me and wanted me to go in there with him. So I went in there, enjoyed it. It's always something that I've wanted to do. And then obviously left there, and then got a stab at the Bootle job, yeah. And obviously my local team and stuff. But probably took it too early, to be honest with you. First job, went in there, tried to do things differently, just didn't work out. Probably better sitting here today for the experience of doing it. When I go in next time, I'll do things a little bit more different. But it was an eye opener, real eye opener, to be honest with you. It's just, we talked before about these characters in the game and stuff like that. I've never been in a dressing room where you need to tell someone how good he is and stuff like that. And I think when I took the job there, I didn't realise that you've got to butter all these players up and stuff like that. And there's probably no real characters in the dressing room and stuff. And I've got to go away now and, look at myself in the mirror, see where I went wrong, and see what I'm going to do different next time I go in. Yeah, but it is something that I do want to go back into. Just at the minute, I just haven't had the opportunity. Probably my own fault. I think when I come away from Bootle, I thought to myself, I'm going to have a little break away from it. I'd always gone bang, 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 always into jobs, always kept playing. So yeah, I just thought I'm going to have a little break and then wait for the next opportunity to come along. It might come along, it might not, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the plans for the future. So what are you doing now then? Are you still in the game, or what's your involvement?
No, I'm not doing nothing at all. Not doing nothing at all with football. I got a few, after I finished playing, Mickey Mellon's mate owns a company called Ed Start, which is an alternate provision school for kids that have been kicked out of mainstream school. So they've got 9 schools now all over the northwest. Majority of them are in and around Manchester. So we've just opened the first one in Wirral. So I'm actually head teacher in that school and on the Wirral called Ed Start. Yeah, alternate provision school. Just kids that haven't been able to get the education in mainstream still to come to our school, and we just try and look after them, get them through the GCSEs the best we can, and just make better kids out of them. Really, they've all most of them are coming from broken families, and they've got a lot going on in their home lives and stuff like that, and they've got their own problems. So just try and help them the best we can, and get them through the GCSEs.
That's possible, yeah. That's admirable. I think there's a lot about yourself maybe that you've done that. So football, how big of a job would it have to be for you to leave that role? What standard are you looking at, or are you just wanting to get back in the game at all, or you're happy with what's going on at the moment?
Yeah, you know what? I'm happy the way I am at the minute. I've always looking, seeing, what clubs are doing and what, who's being sacked and stuff like that. I've never been precious over what level I go back, and that's why I took the Beatle job. I was never precious of what level I was going in at. Probably went in there unprepared. But what, sat here today better for the experience. I always self-evaluate myself. Never blame the lads. I always blame myself. So yeah, I'm not fussed at what level it is. I just think I jumped into the Beatle thing too early. My dad was telling me not to take the job. It was too early, pleading with me not to take it. But I think because you're in a bit of a bubble and you think, I've gone in, I've done well there, I've done well there. I was inexperienced, to be honest with you. I should have maybe went in and took another number 2 job somewhere, got some more experience, learnt a bit more. But listen, you live and learn, and always be looking for the next opportunity to see if it does come along.
Our 6-a-side team, top of the league, 3 points clear. We've got 6 games to go. You want to come and get us over the edge? You're very welcome. We'll have a quick break, and I want to talk about some football history and settle some debates before the end. So we'll see you in a sec. Welcome back to the next section of the Football Historian podcast.
Sorry, Pete, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Where'd you get that shirt from?
Oh, this Latium number's just from Classic Football Shirts. Where'd you get yours from?
Thank you. Mine's from Classic Football Shirts as well.
Wow. Well, when I bought my shirt, I used the code TFH10 to get 10% off all orders. Did you use the same?
I did. I used a discount code. I think it was the same as yours.
Oh, TFH10. Oh, that's great, because if you want to get 10% off all your orders, you can use TFH10 at classicfootballshirts.com.
Unbelievable deal.
Welcome to the final section. I want to talk about football history first, which is your football history. So the first game, first memory, what comes to mind when you think about football and you as a kid?
Played for the local club called the Brunswick Youth Club on Marsh Lane. Used to play in the Walton Kirkdale League, so it was just obviously the Brunny was it was a youth club, so we just put a team together with the youth club. Played a team called Mainliners, and there's a lad called John Miles played for Mainliners. I was playing a couple of years above, to be honest with you. We got beat about 16-0, but we ended up getting our things together a little bit, and we went on and we become a really good side. But yeah, that's my first memory, yeah. Walton Kirkdale League, getting beat 16-0.
And then as a fan, what's the first game you think of? Or did you go to match much? Did you go to a match?
I didn't, to be honest with you. My brother, Peter, he was a bit of blue, so he had like a junior blue card. Used to go and get in the Glad Street every weekend, but I didn't really go to any games. Probably the first game I went to was when I got a free ticket off Liverpool. You used to get free tickets and had to go to every home game, so it's probably the first game I went to, yeah.
Was that hard? Were you supporting the other team then? Because you were still...
No, I had my Liverpool tracking stuff on at that time, so I had to support Liverpool, yeah.
And then, is there a favourite game that you think of in your youth, maybe? Just like terms of either playing or watching? Is this a football game you remember watching and thinking, that's what I like?
No, not really, no. Obviously, when you become professional, you had playoff finals and stuff like that, but... used to go down and play in the Yorkshire Cup for the Brunny and stuff like that. We won the Yorkshire Cup one year, so that was a really good memory, yeah.
And then what do you think is the best era of football? So it doesn't have to be that you've played in, it could be before you, it could be now, but I'm guessing it's not now. What do you think is the best era of football?
I'd probably say the 2000s. I think that's the era that I've watched the most, like, you know what I mean, like John Terry, Steven Gerrard when Liverpool were going against Chelsea. Obviously Liverpool won the Champions League and stuff like that. So I'd say the Premier League in me, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then favourite player, so it can be, I'll tell you one that we've played with, and then just a favourite player in general, that's someone whose game that you liked.
You know what, I've played with some great players, and I always say it, people ask me, but there was a lad who played centre half with, at Barrow called Paul Jones. Enjoy playing with him. He's a great lad. I haven't seen him for years, to be honest with you. But he could head the ball further, could kick it, to be honest with you. But we were a good mix, to be honest with you. And I've played with some really good players. Vardy, Lee Fowler, Andy Mangan, Nors. You could keep going on and naming them, but probably enjoy playing with him the most. Yeah, Jonah.
Yeah. And then favourite player just in football in general? Who do you think is your favourite?
Football in general? I'd probably have to go for John Terry. Yeah. Used to love watching him. No nonsense, really good centre half. But as I say, he's some really good players.
Yeah, great. And the next one, top 5 players in football history. And if you could put them in order as well, please. So who do you think is the best 5? People normally sometimes pick the best 5 or the favourite 5, but question to you is, who's the top 5 footballers ever?
Of all time?
Yeah. And in order.
Obviously, it's always the Ronaldo Messi argument, isn't it? So if we're going the best players in the world, I'd probably go Ronaldo, and then I'd go Messi, and then I'd go Rooney. Top 5. I'm gonna put Gerrard in there as well. I'm gonna have to go for Gerrard. And number 5, I'm gonna go for number 5, Zidane.
Nice. And then if I can ask you to build a 5-a-side team of the best players you've played with, who would that be? Feel free to put yourself in there.
Best players I've played with? I'd probably have to go for Mark Tyler or Scotty Davis in goal. I go for Scotty Davis in goal. He's got more chance of watching this. You get a cob on if I don't put him in. I'll put myself in there as well. Defence, that's 2, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 more.
I'll go Lee Fowler. Played with him at Fleetwood. That's 3. And then I'll go for Andy Mangan. That's 4. And then I hate putting Vardy in it because he's playing in the Premier League. I don't like. And I'm gonna go for another centre forward. I'll put Vardy in there.
And a super sub.
Super sub. Connor Jennings can play anywhere.
Perfect. And then, what is the best individual performance you've seen on the pitch? And you can say yourself if you want.
No, it wouldn't have been from me. Best individual performance doesn't have to be a game I've played in either. No. I don't know. You'd probably have to go for the Champions League final, wouldn't you, Liverpool? I know it weren't an individual performance, but for a team performance, you could say Gerrard pulled them through, couldn't you? They made some subs at half time when Haman come on and stuff like that. Obviously, Cara played in it, but yeah, I'd have to go for that. I think back then they were getting beat 3-0, and I was texting all my Liverpoolian mates, like, you know what I mean, like laughing and taking the piss out of them. But to be fair, they come back, and that was probably one of the greatest comebacks of all time, and I'd like to put that in as the individual performance. Yeah,
that's fine. Okay, and then the greatest manager we'll do again. The greatest manager you played under, and then the greatest manager in football history.
It's a tough one for me, this, because it's John Still or Mickey Mellon. I could never split them, to be honest with you. I've had really good success with the both of them. With Still and Mickey Mellon, played a lot of games under them, so I wouldn't really like to split them, so I'm going to go for them too. And the greatest manager of all time, you'd have to go Pep, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, go Pep. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, then, what we'll do now is the debate.
The debate.
Big transition there. And we just need you to settle the biggest debates for us. So we've had a few people in before. We keep a tally, and we're seeing who is the greatest in all these. So the first one is Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes. So can I have a 1, 2, 3 of them, please?
Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes.
And why is Gerrard the best?
You can do everything. The most complete midfield out of the 3 of them, to be honest with you. You can do anything, yeah.
So you never played with him, but did you see him in training, or did you ever come close to him? Or
do you know what? One year I went to we played down at, I don't remember it. We played down at Southampton. I was still in senior school, and it used to play 17s and 19s, and I was still 15, I think. And the under-17 didn't have a massive squad, so what they used to do, used to take it in turns of getting you out of school, and you used to go down and you just used to fill the bench, to be honest. So I went down one year, and I'm almost certain it was Southampton we went to, and the under-17s, we were playing on one pitch and the 19s were playing on another pitch, and no one was watching the 17s game. They were all watching the under-19s game. Steven Gerrard was playing in it, like, and I didn't see any of it, but his performance meant to be unbelievable. Yeah.
So just even then, like the whispers were how
yeah,
good
there
he
was. Yeah, it was all around him. Yeah.
Yeah, great. The next one is Pele or Maradona.
Oh, yeah, tough one, this, innit? I'm going Pele because Maradona done us with the hand of God.
Perfect. And then Messi or Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
How come? Because I'll be honest, it's quite heavily weighted towards Messi at the moment. So why is Ronaldo better?
I don't know. I just think you say it, don't you? I think he's a more complete player, you know. And yeah, probably a bit like what you say about Gerrard, don't you? I mean, listen, it's a flick of a coin, and you know they've all had massive success. Messi probably he has one more than Ronaldo, hasn't he? But just think he can do more, Ronaldo.
Fair enough. And the next one I've got is Buffon, Casillas, and Neuer. If you could put them in order for us.
Buffon, Casillas, or Neuer. 3 goalies, these.
Yep.
I hate goalkeepers as well, you know. None of them, I don't want to put any of them in. I'd go Buffon. Who were the other two?
Casillas and Neuer.
Neuer and then Casillas.
And why do you hate goalkeepers?
I don't know. I just hate them. Like, you know, I've played with some great goalies, to be fair, but I used to hate it when he threw a clanger in, like, you know what I mean? But you're just always round the bend as well.
Great. Next one is, I think I know what you'd say, but the choice is, so dream club for you would be Everton, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So this could make it harder for you. Win the Premier League, captain of Everton. Win the World Cup, captain of England. What would you rather do?
Premier League with Everton. All day, yeah.
So it's club or country, really, but obviously it makes it a bit more interesting. And then the last one we'll ask you is, if Messi and Ronaldo are the best players of the last 15, 20 years, who is the third best behind them two?
It's Rooney or Gerrard, isn't it?
What do you think? Rooney would be fourth here, so...
Yeah, I'm going to go for Rooney.
Yeah. Fair enough. Right, well, that's the end of our chat. Thank you very much again for coming. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want people to look at? Anything you want to share? Or are you just here for a nice time in the chat?
Just here for a nice time in the chat.
Perfect. That's all we need. And the coffee as well. It was
all
right. Well, yeah, thank you so much. As I said before, I don't want to freak you out with how much we like you, but me and all my mates, we're all made up. When I put it in the group chat that you were coming, everyone was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So I think we've peaked already on the podcast here, so thank you so much. Thank you also for watching at home, and we'll see you next time on the Football Historian Podcast.